Hallo zusammen, I'm your vlog Dave. Some brand new Rammstein lyrics have leaked, oh yeah. Well, it depends on what you associate with the term leaked, I reckon. They just surfaced the other day when the guys posted pictures of the actual artwork packaging for their upcoming album, which is gonna be released on May 17th. In a few of these official CD packaging photos, you can see the full booklet page with complete lyrics for the songs Puppe and Zeig dich. So in this video, I, a native German speaker, will translate the German lyrics of Puppe, explain a few special words and phrases, and also give my own interpretation of what this track could be about. Because of that, this video itself won't feature too many pictures apart from the lyrics and their translation, so in any case, if you expect a visual masterpiece of an analysis video, well, this one might not be the one you're looking for. I'm sorry. But if you don't mind that, let's have some fun with the lyrics. Alright, let's go. The Rammstein song Puppe is 4 minutes and 33 seconds long, and it's the 6th of 11 tracks on the 7th seemingly self-titled Rammstein record. Wow, quite a few alliterations going on here. Why not? The title itself is an ordinary German noun, which can be translated to either the puppet or the doll. It's die Puppe, singular, die Puppen, plural. Now let's dissect the lyrics bit by bit in chronological order. The tune seems to start with the first verse. Wenn Schwesterlein zur Arbeit muss, schließt mich im Zimmer ein. Hat eine Puppe mir geschenkt, dann bin ich nicht allein. Wenn Schwesterlein zur Arbeit muss, fährt sie nicht mit der Bahn. Ihr Schaffensplatz ist gar nicht weit, ist gleich im Zimmer nebenan. When little sister needs to go to work, locks me up inside my room, gave me a doll so that I'm not alone. When little sister needs to go to work, she doesn't go by train. Her place of work is not that far away, it's the room next to mine. As you might have noticed, I've used a rather clunky phrase, when little sister needs to go to work. Why didn't I just say, when little sister goes to work? Well, because the German line goes, wenn Schwesterlein zur Arbeit muss, and the muss at the end is the English need. Sie muss zur Arbeit gehen. She needs to go to work. Already in this first verse, these lyrics seem quite ordinary at first glance, and especially for the first 5 or 6 lines, but then things intensify rapidly, yet in a subtle insecurity as to what all this might lead to. And even if it's just the first verse, I'd say Till Lindemann once again proves how sophisticated and well written his lyrics are. He manages to create an insecure atmosphere with indirect references people will still get at the end of the day, I mean, when they hear or read the lyrics, even though they aren't spoken out or written out loud or directly visible. The first interesting German term I should talk about is das Schwesterlein. It's a minimized form of the ordinary noun die Schwester, singular, die Schwestern, plural, the sister. In English, you would translate this to little sister, as it's common for most minimized nouns, but this doesn't necessarily mean it's the lyrical I's younger sister in that sense. I mean, that could be the case, but it probably isn't, judging from the lyrical I being rather young themselves. I'm also pretty certain that the lyrical I, which is das lyrische Ich in German, is a little girl. Also because of the doll or the puppet reference. And the name of the song, I mean, you know, of course, some boys might also play with certain types of puppets. Well, no, not necessarily this puppet, but hey. The first verse deals with the sister's work or workplace, die Arbeit, the work, and der Arbeitsplatz, the workplace. However, since we're dealing with rather lyrical or poetic writing, and it sounds more elegant in this context, Till chose the uncommon yet ordinary noun der Schaffensplatz, singular, die Schaffensplätze, plural. It means the same, yet it's highly uncommon in comparison. But since it's an existing term, a compound word which consists of real German words, Germans will understand what he's aiming for. This term also fits in a different way because in German we have the phrase anschaffen gehen, which means to prostitute yourself. Up to this point, we don't really know for very sure what the sister's work definitely is, but I'd say we've got a pretty good clue about it. The next 4 lines seem like sort of the first part to a pre-chorus, or they might actually be the chorus themselves, I don't know. Am Himmel dunkle Wolken ziehen, ich nehme artig meine Medizin und warte hier im Daunenbett, bis die Sonne untergeht. Dark clouds in the sky. Well behaved, I'm taking my medicine as I was told, and wait here, lying in the eiderdown or the down feather bed, until the sun goes down. And again a self-reference to the song Sonne, the Sun, and the line Sie wird heut Nacht nicht untergehen. It's not going to go down tonight. Of course, the dark clouds set the mood once again and also underline the uncertainty on both our side as listeners and also for the lyrical eye. The potential little girl who seemingly doesn't understand why she has to be locked up in her room and what's going on in the room next to her anyway. Where's the connection? The upcoming 4 lines could be a continuation of the previous part, a potential chorus, or a shorter second verse between these and the upcoming 4 lines, which are a repetition of the part I've just talked about. Sie kommen und sie gehen, manchmal auch zu zweit. Die späten Vögel singen und die Schwester schreit. They come and they go, sometimes also in pairs. The late birds sing and the sister screams. By having reached this part of the song, the sisters' actual occupation should have become more than apparent to most listeners, I'd say. There are 2 terms in German we have for people with this job. The first one is die Prostituierte, singular, die Prostituierten, plural, the prostitute, or way more vulgar and also pejorative, die Hure, singular, die Huren, plural, the whore, which, by the way, Rammstein have already sung about in a previous song too. The Spanish track Te quiero puta on Rosenrot translates to I love you whore, ich liebe dich Hure, if I'm not mistaken. The phrase die späten Vögel singen, the late birds sing, can be understood quite ambiguously as well. It's sort of the other side of the coin regarding the famous saying, der frühe Vogel fängt den Wurm, the early bird catches the worm. Since the sister works at dusk or in the evening, it's the late bird here. Also, the term der Vogel, singular, die Vögel, plural, the bird, can be a pejorative term in German. You might hear some Germans say something like, das ist echt ein Vogel, that's a strange person or a mad person, or du hast doch einen Vogel, you're crazy, you're out of your mind. This meaning could also work when you think of some Freier, der Freier, singular, die Freier, plural, the wooer or suitor, meaning someone who goes to a prostitute and has sex with them. In this case, the visitors. Some of them might behave weird or have strange or really radical desires, also in the sense of hurting prostitutes for satisfaction, for instance, which might be indicated by the last line und die Schwester schreit and the sister screams. After the previously mentioned repetition of the part beginning with Am Himmel, the song really bursts at the seams. Der Song bricht aus allen Nähten. Und dann reiß ich der Puppe den Kopf ab, dann reiß ich der Puppe den Kopf ab. Ja, ich beiß der Puppe den Hals ab, es geht mir nicht gut. Ich reiß der Puppe den Kopf ab, ja, ich reiß der Puppe den Kopf ab. Und dann beiß ich der Puppe den Hals ab, es geht mir nicht gut. Nein. Dum dum. And then I tear the doll's head off. I'm tearing the doll's head off. Yes, I'm biting the doll's neck off. I'm not feeling well. I tear the doll's head off. Yes, I'm tearing the doll's head off. And then I'm biting the doll's neck off. I'm not feeling well. No. Dum dum. One might say it's rather monotonous, and that's certainly true, but I'd personally say it highlights and fits the lyrical eye's desperation and anger rather well. Yeah. Also notice the different body parts. Der Kopf, singular, die Köpfe, plural, the head, and der Hals, singular, die Hälse, plural, the neck or throat. This last original, probable second verse right before the just mentioned part gets repeated not only increases the already high anger intensity and helpless danger on both sides, the sister and the lyrical eye in their respective contexts, it also implies a potential action, another fatal action if you will. Wenn Schwesterlein der Arbeit frönt, das Licht im Fenster rot. Ich sehe zu durchs Schlüsselloch und einer schlug sie tot. Und jetzt reiß ich der Puppe den Kopf ab. Ja, ich reiß der Puppe den Kopf ab. Und dann beiß ich der Puppe den Hals ab. Jetzt geht es mir gut, ja. When little sister is at work, red lights in the window. I'm peeking through the keyhole. And one man beats her to death. Now I'm going to tear the doll's head off. Yes, I'm tearing the doll's head off. And then I'm biting the doll's neck off. Now I'm feeling well. Yes. Okay, things escalated very quickly on several levels here. Now we learn about the personification and the imagery of the puppet, die Puppe. And at the latest, this verse really mentions the actual occupation. In a very, well, more or less direct way, I'd say. The red lights directly refer to her prostitutional work, so to speak. And thanks to that line, I feel a desperate urge to listen to Roxanne by the awesome band The Police, which I love as well. The doll stands for the visitors, and this really violent one in particular, the killer of the Lyrical Eye's sister. Since she seemingly just got murdered, and I think the whole situation with the Lyrical Eye being locked in their room so that they wouldn't see or hear what's going on next door takes place in the here and now, meaning in the present, and while the sister just got killed, the Lyrical Eye actually seems to have killed the murderer as an act of revenge and hate just right there. Somehow. I mean, there is no direct or obvious evidence of this in the lyrics though, but when you argue with the doll representing the visitor, and, well, this murderous one in particular, it could work. Or maybe it's like the wish of the Lyrical Eye to kill them. Who knows? However, if that happened right there, right in the moment, I'm wondering about how they could escape from the locked room and peek through the keyhole in the first place. So yeah, maybe in the end this is rather meant as a dream or a fictitious situation, a wish inside the Lyrical Eye's mind. I don't know, what do you think? Either way, the Lyrical Eye feels great again after all bad feelings have gone away. I mean, probably apart from the loss of their sister. Alright guys, I hope you've enjoyed this video. It's once again a typical Rammstein song text and an intense topic for a track once again. And I think great German lyrics too. What do you make of this? Tell me in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't hesitate to share it with others in Rammstein related groups on Facebook, on Reddit, or simply with your friends. Thanks so very much for doing that in advance, it really helps and I greatly appreciate that. So see you next time, I'm your Vlog Dave, tschüss und bis zum nächsten Mal.